I never thought I'd trade my soul for a scalpel's precision. But when Evelyn, my mother-in-law, ripped my daughter Lily's prom dress to shreds with a gleeful snip of her shears, laughing like it was some twisted family tradition, I knew hell had a vacancy with my name on it. That same night, as Lily sobbed into my arms, her mascara-streaked face buried in my shoulder, I made a call to a ghost from my past, a neuroscientist who'd vanished after our little experiment in college. The one that proved souls could slip bodies like ghosts through fog.
By dawn,
I wasn't Annabelle anymore. I was Evelyn, staring back from her own gilded mirror in that McMansion she lorded over, her Botox-frozen smirk mine to wield like a loaded gun. It started 6 months earlier, in the sticky heat of a Nashville summer, where the air hung heavy with cicada hum and the faint rot of the Cumberland River. I'd always been the outsider in the Harrington clan, married into old money that smelled like tobacco fields and whispered scandals. My husband,
Tom,
was the golden boy, heir to a tobacco empire that had pivoted to sustainable vapes just in time for the lawsuits. But Evelyn? She was the queen bee, her stinger dipped in southern saccharin and venom. And Carla, her daughter from a first marriage, Tom's half-sister, was the drone, buzzing with petty jealousies and a law degree she used to bully anyone shorter than her Louboutins. Lily was my light, 17 and fierce, with my hazel eyes and Tom's dimpled chin. Prom was her rite of passage, the one night she'd outshine the ghosts of her family's expectations. I'd saved for months, scrimped on groceries, skipped my own haircuts to buy that dress, emerald silk that hugged her like a promise, shimmering under the boutique lights like it was woven from fireflies. Evelyn and Carla dropped by unannounced that Friday afternoon, ostensibly to help with alterations. I should have known better. Evelyn's eyes had that glint, the one she saved for when she wanted to remind me I was just the help who'd gotten lucky. Darling, she'd cooed, her voice like honey over broken glass. This simply won't do for our Lily.
2. Garish.
Like something from a honky-donk floozy. Before I could protest, Carla had the dress laid out on the kitchen table, and Evelyn produced those goddamn shears, antique things with pearl handles. A family heirloom she'd wielded on more than one rival's curtains back in her debutante days. Snip. Snip. The silk parted like flesh under a blade, green threads curling on the linoleum like spilled entrails. Lily walked in mid-massacre, her backpack still slung over one shoulder from school, and froze. The sound she made, half gasp, half wail, echoed off the vaulted ceilings of our split-level ranch, a sound no mother forgets. They didn't stop there. Evelyn dusted her hands, those liver-spotted talons manicured to perfection, and said, "There. Now she can wear something befitting a Harrington. I'll have my seamstress whip up something demure by tomorrow." Carla smirked, snapping a photo on her phone for the family album, and they sauntered out, leaving the ruins behind like confetti from a hate parade. Tom was at a board meeting in Atlanta, oblivious as always, his texts later reading like apologies from a man who'd rather buy forgiveness than earn it. "Sorry, babe. Mom's just old school. Love you." But I knew better. This wasn't about the dress. It was the third strike in a lifetime of sabotage. First, there was the wedding, Evelyn accidentally spilling red wine on my gown during the rehearsal, blaming it on the caterer's clumsiness while whispering to guests that I was high-strung. Then Lily's christening, where Carla forgot to invite half my side of the family, turning it into a Harrington echo chamber.
No.
This was war, declared in sequins and scissors, and I was done playing the gracious interloper. That night, as Lily curled up in her bed. Clutching the tattered remnants like a security blanket, I slipped into the garage. The air smelled of motor oil and regret, the single bulb swinging like a noose. I'd kept his number buried in my contacts for 15 years, Dr. Elias Crow, the boy genius who dropped out of Vanderbilt after our project. Back in '09. Fueled by cheap beer and too much Nietzsche, we'd hacked together a prototype in his dorm, a neural interface cobbled from scavenged EEGs and black market peptides. We'd tested it on rats first, watching their little minds flicker between bodies like faulty bulbs. Then, on a dare soaked in Jameson, we'd tried it on each other. I woke up in his skin for 30 seconds, tasting his stale coffee breath, feeling the itch of his unshaven jaw before it snapped back. Body tourism, he joked. But the fear in his eyes afterward, that was real. He'd vanished a month later. Whispers of a lab accident and a fat settlement from the university. I dialed. The line crackled like static from a storm front. Annabelle. His voice was gravel and ghosts. You shouldn't. I need it. I cut him off. My whisper sharp as shattered glass. The full swap. Permanent. If I want it. Name your price. Silence. Then a sigh that carried the weight of ruined careers. It's not reversible anymore. And it's
Evolved. Dark web funding.
Black Ops vibes. You sure? For my daughter, I'd burn the world. He laughed, bitter as black coffee. Famous last words. Meet me in Memphis. Midnight. Bring cash and your spine. The drive was a blur of taillights on I-40. The radio spitting Carrie Underwood anthems about vengeance that felt like prophecies. Memphis loomed, all neon and neglect. The Peabody Hotel's duck march a mocking parade of normalcy. Elias waited in a back alley clinic, the sign reading holistic therapies peeling like old scabs. He looked hollowed out, 50s going on ancient, his lab coat stained with what I hoped was coffee. The device was a far cry from our dorm room Frankenstein, a sleek helmet rigged with fiber optics and vials of glowing serum, humming like a hive of angry bees. This isn't science anymore, he muttered, strapping me in.
It's
Invocation. The peptides rewrite neural maps. But the soul? That's the wild card. You might come back wrong. I thought of Lily's tears, Evelyn's smirk. Wrong is better than broken. The swap hit like a freight train through molasses, my vision fracturing into prisms. Elias's memories bleeding in, sterile labs, faceless funders, nights screaming as test subjects unraveled. Then, snap. I blinked, and the world righted itself. But I was looking down at my hands, liver spots, pearl rings, Evelyn's hands. Elias's body slumped across from me, my old shell vacant-eyed. Go, he rasped from my lips, his voice a stranger in my throat. Before it echoes back, I fled into the night, Evelyn's Mercedes purring like a predator under my stolen command. The McMansion glowed like a false beacon on the outskirts. Tom's truck absent, he was crashing at the office again, dodging the fallout. Carla's BMW was in the drive. She'd stayed for moral support, no doubt plotting the next indignity over Chardonnay. Slipping inside was child's play, Evelyn's carrying heavy with entitlements. The foyer marble chilled her, bare feet. She'd kicked off her heels post-sabotage, padding upstairs in silk pajamas that cost more than my monthly mortgage. Carla was in the guest suite, scrolling TikTok, oblivious. I stood in Evelyn's bathroom, the vanity a shrine to vanity, creams in jade jars. a mirror ringed with LED vanity lights that made her face look eternal. Staring back was the enemy, 68 but holding at 50 thanks to fillers and denial, silver hair coiled like a crown of thorns. I touched the reflection, feeling the alien give of her cheek. This is mine now. The thought thrilled and terrified, a cocktail of power and perversion. Downstairs, I poured a scotch, Evelyn's ritual, neat in a crystal tumbler etched with a family crest. The burn was familiar, but the hands trembling around the glass? Not mine. Her phone buzzed. Tom.
Mom?
You okay? Heard about the dress thing. I typed back with manicured nails. All good.
Dear.
Annabelle overreacted as usual.
Send.
The lie landed like a gut punch. But it was armor. Carla wandered down at 2 a.m. Robe askew. Eyes puffy from wine. Mom?
Can't sleep.
That little scene was gold. Wasn't it? Lily's face, priceless. I turned, Evelyn's smile stretching my new lips. Priceless, I echoed, voice a perfect mimicry of her drawl.
Pour yourself one.
We sat at the island, the shears still on the counter like a trophy. Carla rambled about her latest deposition win. How Annabelle, was draining Tom dry, how Lily was turning into her trashy mother. Each word was a spark on dry tinder. I nodded, sipped, waited. The serum Elias mentioned? It wasn't just a map, it was a mirror. Flashes of Evelyn's mind seeped in, regrets like acid. A vault of secrets bolted shut. The first crack came unbidden, the accident. 1992. Not Tom's fault. Mine. My heart, her heart, stuttered. What accident? By morning, the swap's aftershocks had me doubled over the porcelain throne. Evelyn's breakfast of regret, black coffee and kale smoothies, coming back up in Technicolor. But there was no time for frailty. Tom texted again, heading home. Lily's a wreck. We need to talk. I deleted it, then fired off to Carla. Girls' brunch at the Loveless? My treat. She replied with heart emojis. Clueless. Driving Evelyn's caddy to the cafe felt like piloting a yacht through a kiddie pool. Overpowered. Ostentatious. Every turn a reminder of the life I'd hijacked. The Loveless was peak Nashville. Biscuits like clouds. Fried chicken that sinned for your salvation. Tourists snapping pics while locals nursed hangovers. Carla arrived in yoga pants and a designer ponytail, sliding into the booth with an air kiss that landed on my cheek like a wet accusation. So, spill, she said, doctoring her mimosa with extra OJ. What's the play with Lily? You think Tom will finally see sense and cut that scholarship nonsense? I forked a bite of shrimp and grits. The flavors alien on Evelyn's tongue. Too rich. Too indulgent.
Inside.
Annabelle screamed for justice. Outside. Evelyn purred.
Oh.
Honey. Tom's soft. Always has been. But Annabelle? She's the thorn. Time to pull it. Carla leaned in, eyes alight with that sibling spite. I've been saying. Remember Dad's will? She contested it.
Tried to claw more for that brat.
If it weren't for you. Dad's will. Another crack in the vault. Evelyn's memories flickered. Richard Harrington. The patriarch poisoned by lung cancer from his own product. 2015. The reading in the oak-paneled study. Carla weeping crocodile tears. Tom numb. Annabelle me had indeed fought. Not for greed, but because Richard's codicil cut Lily out entirely, labeling her illegitimate in a scrawled footnote. I'd uncovered the letter months later. Hidden in his desk. The girl isn't mine. Evelyn. But don't tell Tom. Let him believe the lie. Illegitimate? No, adopted. Or worse. The secret twisted like kudzu. I pushed it down, focusing on Carla's drone. We escalate, I said. Evelyn's voice dripping conspiracy. Anonymize some dirt. Her little Etsy side hustle? Tax evasion vibes. Or that bar fight in college, expulsion dodged. Carla's grin was feral. You're diabolical.
Mom.
Love it. Brunch bled into afternoon scheming. Us two vipers in a sunlit nest. By the time I dropped her at her condo, overlooking the gulch, all glass and greed, I had a plan. Not theirs.
Mine.
First, fortify the facade. A call to Tom. Feigning maternal concern. Darling. Annabelle's hysterical. I fear for Lily's sake. Come for dinner. Bring the girls. His reply, Mom.
Please. Not tonight.
But I wheedled. Evelyn's guilt trip arsenal deployed. Widowhood. Legacy.
Family. He caved.
Back at the McMansion, I raided Evelyn's closet, rows of Chanel suits and St. John knits, each hanger a noose of conformity. I chose a brocade sheath, pearls like nooses, and practiced her walk in the full-length mirror, shoulders back, chin high, the gait of a woman who'd buried 2 husbands and 1 conscience. The reflection mocked me, but it was a weapon. Tom arrived at dusk, Lily in tow, her eyes red-rimmed but defiant, dressed in thrift store jeans that screamed rebellion. Annabelle's body, my body, moved like a puppet on strings, Elias's influence keeping it comatose in that Memphis hole. Tom hugged me, Evelyn, too tight. His cologne the same as our wedding day. A betrayal in scent. Mom. About the dress. Hush, I murmured, patting his back with her hand. Water under the bridge.
Come. Eat.
Dinner was a minefield, pot roast simmering with resentment, mashed potatoes whipped to oblivion. Lily picked at her plate, avoiding my gaze, Evelyn's gaze, while Tom monologued about quarterly earnings, oblivious to the storm. Carla arrived late, bearing a peace offering, a pale blue chiffon gown, off the rack from Belk, demure as a nun's habit. For prom, she announced, draping it over Lily's chair like a shroud. Mom's idea. Fits the Harrington aesthetic. Lily's fork clattered. I don't want your pity rags. The table froze. Tom's jaw tightened, Carla's eyes narrowed to slits. Evelyn, reached across, touching Lily's arm with feigned tenderness. Sweetheart, it's not pity. It's propriety. Your mother's. Tastes run wild. This will make you shine. She yanked away, hazel eyes flashing mine, hers back at me. You destroyed my dress. This is blood money. The word destroyed hung. Accusatory. Tom cleared his throat. Lily.
No. Dad.
Grandma and Aunt Carla hate us. They hate Mom. And you let them. The dam broke. Lily fled upstairs, sobs echoing like accusations. Tom sighed, rubbing his temples. See what you've done. Mom? Always stirring. Carla cut in. Venom sweet. If Annabelle hadn't married you. Enough. I slammed Evelyn's fist on the table, crystal rattling. The room stilled, all eyes on the matriarch's uncharacteristic fury. Inside, my heart pounded, Annabelle's heart, trapped in Elias's husk. But the rage?
Pure me.
This family is rotting from the inside. Secrets. Lies, it's poison. Tom blinked. Mom, you okay? I stood, chair scraping like a confession. Not okay. Not anymore. And I walked out, into the garden where magnolias drooped like weary sentinels, the night air thick with jasmine and unspoken sins. That's when the vault cracked wide. Evelyn's memories flooded. 1992. A rainy night on a back road near Franklin. Richard behind the wheel, drunk on bourbon and bad decisions, swerving to miss a deer. The crash, metal twisting. Screams cut short. Tom, 19 and unscathed in the back, but Richard pinned, dying slow. Evelyn at the hospital, bribing the talk screen, pinning it on the wet roads while burying the flask. But the deeper cut, she dosed Richard's drink herself. Rage over his affair with me, years before I met Tom. I'd been the nanny, fresh from community college, and Richard. A mistake in silk sheets. Evelyn knew she'd orchestrated my firing, my exile. And when I resurfaced with Tom, she'd welcomed me, all smiles, while scheming to break us. The prom dress? Child's play. Lily wasn't Tom's, not biologically. Richard's dying wish. Whispered to Evelyn, protect her secret. Annabelle doesn't know. I'd carried that lie for 17 years, gifting Evelyn ammunition to unravel my world. Rage boiled, hot as Memphis asphalt. Revenge wasn't sabotage, it was excavation. I pulled out Evelyn's burner phone, hidden in her jewelry safe, a relic of her discreet liaisons, and texted Elias. Status? His reply from my old body, stable. But echoes coming. Hurry. I had days, maybe hours, before the swap frayed. Time to dig. The next 48 hours blurred into a frenzy of infiltration. As Evelyn, I accessed the family safe, combination her wedding date. Sentimental fool, unearthing ledgers yellowed with age. Richard's affair documented in cryptic notes, payments to my mother for silence. A DNA test buried in a Vanderbilt clinic. Carla's complicity. She'd forged the will's footnote, egged on by Evelyn's whispers. To keep Lily's inheritance, a trust fund meant for legitimate heirs, from my grasp. I confronted Carla at her office, a gleaming tower downtown, all steel and schadenfreude. We need to talk, I said, Evelyn's tone brooking no argument. She ushered me into her corner suite, floor-to-ceiling views of the Parthenon replica mocking our farce. Mom, what's up? You look off. I slid the ledger across her desk.
This.
Explain. Her face strained, then flushed. That's ancient history. Dad's mess. Our mess, I hissed, leaning in, Evelyn's pearls clacking like rosary beads. You knew about Lily. About Annabelle. And you helped bury it. Carla's laugh was brittle. Barry, we saved this family. That girl? A bastard cuckoo in the nest. Tom deserves. I slapped her. The sound cracked like thunder, her cheek blooming red under my Evelyn's palm. She gaped, hand to face. Mother? Save your breath, I snarled. You're done. Resign your partnership. Or the world sees Richard's flask. Your forgery. Front page Nashville scene. Harrington heiress frames dead dad. She crumpled, tears smearing her mascara into war paint.
Please.
I did it for you, for us. Annabelle's poison. She trapped Tom, like she trapped Dad. The irony burned. But mercy? Not in my vocabulary. Out by week's end. Or else. I left her there, a queen dethroned, and drove to Tom's office, a brutalist bunker off Music Row, where deals were cut to twangy demos. He was in a meeting, but Evelyn's name opened doors. His assistant ushered me in, coffee steaming. Mom, everything all right? I perched on his desk, crossing Evelyn's legs with deliberate grace.
Tom.
About Lily. His face shuddered. The dress? I'll make it right. Not the dress. I pulled the DNA report, crisp as a subpoena.
This.
He scanned it, color leaching from his cheeks. Where?
Mom.
This is a lie. I finished, voice softening to Evelyn's lullaby timbre. Richard's lie. To protect you. Lily's yours.
Tom.
Always was. Annabelle. She never knew. His eyes welled. The boy I'd married surfacing through the executive veneer. But the will, the accident. All Evelyn's doing. I lied smoothly, twisting the knife. Jealousy. She hated Annabelle for loving you like she couldn't love Richard. Tom buried his face in his hands, shoulders shaking.
God.
What have we done? Fixed it, I said, touching his hair, husband's hair. Now son-in-law's in this warped mirror. Fire the seamstress. Buy Lily the damn dress she wants. And Evelyn? She's stepping back. Assisted living. For her health. He nodded. Broken but binding. Anything. For Lily. I kissed his forehead, tasting salt and salvation, and slipped out, the ledger tucked away. Phase 1. Dismantle the drones. Phase 2. The Queen. But the echoes were closing. That night, in Evelyn's bed, satin sheets cool as a crypt, I dreamed in dual voices. Annabelle's pleas. Evelyn's snarls. Woke sweating, her nightgown clinging like guilt. The phone buzzed. Elias. Reversal imminent. 24 hours. Time for the kill shot. Prom night crept like a fever dream. The air electric with teenage chaos and the faint ozone of impending storm. I'd orchestrated the truce. Tom, guilt-ridden, had Lily's original dress restored by a discreet atelier, delivered with a card reading from Dad, sorry I was blind. Carla vanished to a sabbatical in Aspen. Her resignation leaked to the Tennessean as a mutual parting. Evelyn? I played the frail elder, canceling socials with migraines, holing up in the McMansion like a spider in its web. But inside, the swap chafed. Evelyn's body ached in places mine never did, arthritic knuckles. A hip that whispered betrayal with every step. Worse were the intrusions, her habits bleeding through, a compulsion to rearrange the silverware drawer alphabetically, or hum Dixie under my breath. Elias's warnings echoed, the soul fights back. I caught myself in mirrors, wondering if Annabelle's fire was dimming in his husk, or if Evelyn's venom was seeping into my marrow. Lily knocked that afternoon, tentative as a truce flag. Grandma?
Can I
Borrow your pearls? For luck. I opened the door. Evelyn's smile automatic. She stood there, emerald silk reborn, hugging her curves like armor. My girl, our girl, grown into a force. Of course. Petal. I fetched the strand, clasping it around her neck, fingers lingering on the pulse that matched my own buried heart. You'll break hearts tonight. Her eyes searched mine, Evelyn's eyes, and for a heartbeat, suspicion flickered. Thanks. Weirdly, you seem different. Nicer. Because I am. I wanted to say. Instead, age softens the edges.
Dear.
She hugged me, vanilla shampoo and youth enveloping, and left in Tom's Escalade, destination the Opry House decked in twinkling lights. I watched them go, a pang sharper than any scalpel. This body wasn't made for tenderness. It rebelled with a cough, phlegm tasting of old smokes. Alone, I prepped the endgame. The garage, Evelyn's, pristine with her Bentley polished to excess, held the real weapon, her hobby trunk. Locked with a code I plucked from her memories, her first grandchild's birthday, ironic, since Lily was the only one. Inside, not scrapbooks,
But dossiers.
Evelyn's blackmail Bible, emails printed on linen stock, photos of politicians in compromising clinches, USBs labeled with initials. The Harrington leverage, built over decades like a doomsday vault. Mine now. I selected the ripest, a folder on Senator Hale, Tom's golf buddy, entangled in a vape lobby scandal Evelyn had quashed for favors. And deeper, a manila envelope marked AM, contingency. Annabelle Monroe.
Me.
Grainy photos from '07, me leaving Richard's office late, his hand on my elbow. A paternity affidavit. And signed. With Evelyn's notes, leverage if she pushes. Expose the whore. Claim the child. The bitch had planned to nuke me from orbit. No wonder the dress, it was prelude to pariah. I pocketed the USBs, torched the rest in a metal bin. Flames dancing like imps. Smoke curled, acrid and absolving. Tom returned at 10 p.m., tie loosened, reeking of bourbon and bliss. Lily's radiant.
Mom.
Said you were a saint today. I poured us drinks, Evelyn's Glenfiddich. Smooth as lies.
She is.
We all are. When we try. He sank onto the leather sectional, eyes distant. I've been blind.
To you?
To Annabelle. The fight last year, over the prenup push, that was Mom's doing. Wasn't it? The prenup. Another sabotage. Evelyn's lawyer advising Tom to protect assets. Citing my instability. I'd walked out, Lily in tow, crashing at my sister's for a month. Yes, I admitted. Evelyn's voice cracking artfully.
She.
Feared losing you. Like she lost Richard. Tom's face crumpled. The crash. I always thought. You were a boy, I soothed. Hand on his knee, husband's knee. Now a son's in this farce. Shielded. But Lily? She's the best of us. Yours and Annabelle's. Don't let shadows steal that. He nodded, tears tracing familiar paths. I love her.
Mom. Them.
God. What a mess. Not anymore. I clinked glasses. The Scotch ceiling packs unspoken. To new beginnings. Midnight brought the storm. Thunder rumbling like God's displeasure. Rain lashing the French doors. Elias's text now. Reversal starting.
Get out. But not yet.
The climax waited in the study, where Richard's portrait glowered from oil paint judgment. I booted Evelyn's laptop, the one with admin access to the family servers, and uploaded the Hale files to an anonymous drop, WikiLeaks style, but targeted to the Post's investigative desk. Hale would fall by dawn, dragging the vape empire into the light. Controversial? Hell yes, Tom's job teetered. But so did Evelyn's empire. Collateral for catharsis.
Then.
The call. I dialed Annabelle's, my cell. Left at the clinic. Elias answered. My voice frail. It's time. Annabelle? The echoes your body's rejecting. I can't hold. Do it. The line went live to a video feed. The Memphis room. Stark under fluorescence. My old body strapped in. Elias at the console. Helmet humming. He injected the counter serum. A vial of blue fire. Pain lanced through me. Evelyn's nerves screaming as pathways rewired. I gasped, clutching the desk. Vision splintering into dual lives. Annabelle's joys. Evelyn's cruelties. On screen, my eyes fluttered. I stirred,
Gasping.
Tom? Lily. But the feed glitched, static. Then black. Elias's voiceover. It's unstable. She's back. But fragments linger. I collapsed. Evelyn's body convulsing. The room spinning like a bad trip. When it cleared, I was on the Persian rug. Pearls scattered like fallen stars. But whose eyes stared up? Mine? Hers? Tom found me there. Dawn creeping.
Mom.
Call 911. No, I croaked. Voice a hybrid slur. Listen. He knelt. Phone forgotten. What happened? The truth, I whispered, grasping his hand. Evelyn. She caused the crash. Dosed Richard.
Because of me.
I was with him. Before you. Lily, she's his. Not yours. The words hung. A guillotine blade. Tom's face fractured, shock. Sorrow. A dawning rage. Liar. You're not. I am, I said, and in that moment, I let Evelyn's soul surge. Her memories spilling. The affair's heat. The guilt's ice. The murder's calculation. It was the twist. The reversal. Annabelle's revenge. But laced with Evelyn's poison. I'd swapped not just bodies, but burdens. The secret inverted. I wasn't the victim. I was the echo of the villain. Carrying Richard's sin into my marriage. Unwitting pawn in Evelyn's game. He recoiled, scrambling back. Get out. Of my house. Of our lives. But as he fled to check on Lily, still at the afterparty, innocent, I felt the final snap. The swap held. A hybrid horror. Annabelle in Evelyn's shell. Tainted. Or Evelyn redeemed by my fury. The line blurred. Debatable as original sin. Sirens wailed distant. Hails scandal-breaking. Headlines screaming vape baronesses' dirty secrets. Evelyn's empire crumbled in real time. Stocks tanking on CNBC's crawl. I rose, gathered the pearls, and walked into the storm. Rain washed clean. Or so they say. But in America, redemption's just another con. The aftermath unfolded like a slow-motion car wreck. All twisted metal and inevitable crunch. By noon, the McMansion was a war zone. Tom barricaded in the study. Phone glued to his ear with crisis PR spinners. Lily home from prom. Crown askew. Demanding answers amid the chaos. She'd heard the whispers at the dance. Texts flying about Grandma's meltdown. Carla's exile. The senator's perp walk splashed on every feed. Mom, Annabelle, where is she? Lily cornered Tom, voice cracking like teen thunder. He couldn't meet her eyes. The DNA report crumpled in his fist.
Away.
On a trip. We'll talk later. But later was now. And I, trapped in Evelyn's fading chassis, watched from the foyer shadows. Her silk robe a ghost shroud. The swap's echoes had stabilized into a limbo, my thoughts sharp as Annabelle's. But her reflexes sluggish. Memories a bilingual nightmare. I could mimic her perfectly, but each lie cost a piece of me, eroding like limestone in acid rain. Lily stormed past, spotting me. Grandma? What the hell's going on? Dad's acting possessed. I straightened, Evelyn's spine creaking. Family matters. Pedal.
Sit.
Let me explain. She crossed her arms, emerald dress rumpled but regal. No more games. The dress, the files leaking, Aunt Carla called, screaming about betrayal.
Spill.
The girl had spine, Richard's spine. Damn it. I led her to the sunroom. Floor-to-ceiling windows framing the sodden garden. Magnolias battered flat. We sat on wicker that sighed under our weight. Your father. He's hurting. Old wounds reopened. About what? Her eyes bored in hazel mirrors. I hesitated. The truth a live wire. Controversial decision. Shield her. Or shatter. The crash. 1992. Your grandfather, Richard, didn't die clean. Your grandmother. Evelyn. She helped it along. Jealousy. Over a woman. Lily's breath hitched. What woman? I swallowed. Evelyn's throat dry as dust.
Me.
Before I was part of this. The hybrid lie, Annabelle's innocence twisted with Evelyn's complicity. I was young, foolish. Nanny to Tom. Richard. Strayed. Evelyn never forgave. Her face paled. Pieces slotting. And Lily? Me? Yours truly, I said softly, touching her hand, grandmother's hand, but mother's heart. Richard's blood. Tom raised you as his. But the secret festered. She yanked away, chair toppling. You're lying. Dad would. He's known fragments. Buried them for love. Partial truth, Tom's denial had been his armor.
But now, shattered.
Lily fled, slamming the door to her old room, upstairs guest suite, preserved like a museum of girlhood. I heard the lock click, then muffled sobs. Her chest ached, a phantom pain from a body that never nursed her. Tom emerged then, eyes bloodshot, suit rumpled.
She's gone.
Carla's law license suspended pending investigation. The board's calling emergency, Mom. What did you do? I faced him. Evelyn's mask cracking. What needed doing? And the cycle. The ledgers. The blackmail, gone. Hale's done. The Empire's wounded, but yours now. Clean. He laughed.
Hollow.
Clean? You murder my father. For her? The accusation landed like buckshot. Evelyn did.
I
carried it. The reversal deepened, in confessing her sin through my voice. I absolved Annabelle, but damned the vessel. Debatable justice. Who is the monster now? Get out, he repeated. Voice steel. Before I call the cops. Assisted living? Try a psych ward. I packed Evelyn's Louis Vuitton essentials, passport, deeds, a single photo of Lily's birth, me holding her swaddled form. The drive to Memphis was purgatory, wipers slapping rhythm like accusations. Elias waited at the clinic, my old body frail on a gurney, IVs dripping like tears. Annabelle, he said, helping me, Evelyn inside. The hybrid hold. We can reverse.
But
Fragments stay. You'll be you, but with her ghosts. I nodded, strapping in. Do it. Lily needs her mother, not this echo. The machine word. Serum burning like holy water on sin. Vision fractured again. Evelyn's regrets. Lonely widowhood. Love poisoned by pride. My own. Marriage built on sand. Revenge's hollow thrill. Snap. I woke in my skin, 35 again. Freckles and laugh lines intact. But her silver streak in my hair. A cowlick that defied brushes. Elias unstrapped me. Weary. Welcome back. Mostly. The mirror confirmed. Annabelle. But altered, eyes sharper. A faint drawl creeping into my thoughts. Evelyn, her body slumped empty. Vitals flat. The swap's cost, one's soul extinguished. The other scarred. I drove home, to Tom's. The McMansion loomed. Lights blazing like a tribunal. Lily answered the door. Tear-streaked but standing tall.
Mom?
Where? Here, I said, pulling her into an embrace that smelled of home. Always. Tom hovered behind, arms crossed, the DNA report in hand.
We need to talk.
All of it. We did. In the study under Richard's portrait. I confessed the swap, the scientist, the vengeful hijack. Omitted Evelyn's death, let them think she'd fled in shame. I did it for you, I told Lily. To bury the knives at our backs. She searched my face, seeing the streak, the shadow. Was any of it real? Grandma's kindness? Real as regret, I said. She loved you, in her broken way.
And I
became her, to end her. Tom exhaled, collapsing into the desk chair. The empire's crashing, Hale's suing, boards ousting me. But Lily, you're mine. DNA, be damned. I choose you. She crossed to him, hugging fierce. Choose us. The happy, we rebuilt. Tom pivoted the company to clean tech. Nashville's prodigal son redeemed. Lily thrived, Yale-bound. Her prom story, a legend of resilience.
Me?
I wrote it all in a memoir. Anonymous. Stirring forums. Was the revenge justice or madness? Debates raged. Feminists hailed the takedown of matriarchal tyranny. Conservatives decried the family implosion. But the buy? Nights when Evelyn's voice whispered doubts. You killed me. For what? A dress. I'd wake sweating, wondering if the twist was mine, Annabelle. The betrayed. Or the betrayer. Carrying Richard's sin into vengeance. In the end, America loves its monsters. As long as they sparkle. We do too, flawed. Furious. Forever arguing the cost.